Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Let's take a look at Walgreens and why I think it's going to be dropping bigly in the next couple of, like maybe 6 months or so, right? I actually posted a video um, recently, basically telling, I don't know, that one guy, Jeremy from Financial Education, he posted a video saying that he's buying like $1 million worth of Walgreens, and I'm like, don't do it, you're going to lose money. And just kind of letting them know, like, hey, I think Walgreens is going to go down. I think Walgreens might actually go down to like $35, $40, possibly even lower. Um, but it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, hey, maybe double look at this and see what's going on, because I like, as far as technicals go, like it's just showing me that it's going to move down kind of heavy, right? So at its lowest point last time that it gave me a perfect sell on the monthly, it dropped 36 points. I don't think it's going to drop that much. I don't think Walgreens is going to go down to, zero, right? But it's not looking good. I mean, I can't use a forecast, right? Like for example, here I would use a forecast to kind of determine what are the most one of the most recent pullbacks kind of gave me as far as what happened recently, right? So the only thing that I can kind of correlate this with the Stoke is back here in January 2nd of 2019, or sorry, December 3rd of 2018. That's the last time Walgreens actually gave a perfect sell-off like that. I mean, apart from like right here too, I think I can maybe use this one just because I don't think it's gonna drop like 36 points and Walgreens go to zero, right? Unless we're gonna have like a market crash and all the banks are gonna like suffer or whatever, right? So, which there's another it's another theory that I have going on. So we'll see. But lowest that I had was 23 dollar drop in 154 days, or like a 26 percent correction. I guess we can try to do that same thing. So from peak, either 154 days, let's see, 154, 26 point drop. I still don't think it's going to drop 26 points because that would be absolutely insane for Wall. Well, actually, that's not bad. I would actually believe that going on. So 26 points, that's fine. Or you can see 23 points, $23. Oh, I can't see this thing. My fingers on top of it. 20, whatever, 24. That's close enough. Or we can see a 26% correction, right? And we'll do the same thing. And again, this is using a previous run to the downside on the monthly chart on that's similar to where we are now. Or we can see a 26% drop. 26% drop. So like somewhere around the $38 level, which goes back to kind of my thesis of what it can actually drop to, right? So what I use to kind of determine drops are just kind of previous drops that I've had, or relevant drops from before, like historic drops, and I kind of just put it into the actual like the actual signal that it gave, which was for June or July. July actually is starting to look like it's going to close on the bearish side, and then we just kind of do that going forward, right? So if July actually closes on the bear side, that means that this is relatively very 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 possible, right? So we can either see a drop to around 38, $40, or $28, 20, around that range, right? And we're going to see either a drop of a full 45%, which is the actual initial drop that happened. So an actual $23 drop, which would be right here, or a 26% drop, which is a 26% drop, and we would see it right here. And they're all going to happen between the same amount of days, right? Which is what, 154. So ignore this, ignore the 186 to 74. I'd say roughly around 150 days it's going to take to do something like this, right? But we do have a lot of support on. Again, we have monthly support here, big support right there, right? We have support right. We have price support right there. We have support right. We have support right there. We have more support. Actually, I should put this a little bit lower. No, actually, that's actually right there. We have support right there, right? we're about to hit support on the monthly down here at, like $46.66, right? It's not going to be exact just because I was doing this pretty quickly, but generally these are going to be your areas of support. It's going to probably trail down to here, and I would probably say that, for the most part, you guys see this actually hit exactly right on that 38.57 mark, and dropping 24 points, which would be that full 45% correction, would give it somewhere right here around, like, $28.53. And I mean, going back, we can actually go back and see if there's any sort of support around this area, right? So we'll set it there. Look at that, perfect support at $28 or so. We have support here, we have support there, you have resistance right here, you have support right there. So that, look at that. look how perfect that is. Support, you have a bunch of resistance right here. That's not going to be supportive. It actually drops to that. So, these forecasts aren't for nothing, right? You guys can see that even at this $28.53 mark, there is obvious support, right? And it's not as easy as just like randomly dropping a support like here, because then it's not going to hit anything. But how many times and again, this is just taking a dip, right? Taking a recent dip from right here to right here, because my reverse MACD and Stoke were lining up to have a perfect sell-off, and I just took the forecast of price, took the forecast of percentage, and basically got these two predictions, right? That's how I usually do my predictions and forecasts, and I'm just giving you guys, this is an example of how I would do it, and just doing this on Walgreens, right? And again, we placed that here without even knowing if there would be any actual support, but guess what? Like I said, monthly support, monthly resistance, monthly support, monthly resistance. This goes back to 2003. Monthly support. All this was monthly resistance. Look at that. It goes all back. It goes all the way back. Look at that. It goes all the way back to 1999, dude. I'm telling you, this is why I like to think that my accuracy, not accuracy, but at least my support and resistance zones are one of the best in like the industry, man, or at least like in trading. Like it's weird how I think this strategy has been working to be consistently accurate for a very long time, and this is why I think that it's actually, like it works, right? Like this is actually this, like this works. This system works. Like you're basing this off of previous drops, like historic drops, because people love patterns. Like these drops aren't random, right? I don't think there's coincidences in the market. If this drops 10%, you're gonna have a super easy time finding previous drops of consistent 10% or like 15 points. If this rise is 15 points, this rise is probably gonna be 15 points. So is this one. So is the next one. Like I'm telling you, it's super easy to catch those patterns in trading, especially in stocks, because there's so much. There's so many patterns in stocks, and it moves so slowly and smoothly, like that's so easy to catch these patterns right on the fly. But again, this would be my forecast basically, right? And I mean, you can even use a fib to kind of determine where to kind of make this a little bit easier for you on the monthly. Like if you do this, see, look, that 38.57 price sits perfectly on the 0.786 retracement, right? The support line that I created right here is basically right next to that one, and again, all the rest of them sort of relatively close to what exactly is whatchamacallit is to where my forecasts are. Or maybe did I do it? Yeah, I did do this right. Let me try a different set of fibs. It wouldn't be this one. This would be for something else. No, I don't want to try it like that. Let's see, relative low to relative high. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go backwards. It's basically the same thing. It still hits, but again, let me get out of these fibs. They're all relatively close to where the forecast predicts, right? And even right here, like I said, this 2853. All I did was set this up based off of based off of that percentage drop, that 45 percentage, that 45% percentage drop, right? Or what is this based off? Oh no, sorry, this one's actually this 24 is actually based off of a drop of 23, which is generally close to here. I don't want to go back and forecast it, but again, these would be my basic forecast. You would have your first one here, which generally sits at support, easy support, and you would have the next drop maybe at down at $30, which again has like a bunch of historical support, resistance, supports. Again, like look at all these. This is why I like using this method to determine drops or rises, right? It works pretty clearly. And in the month, again, we have a perfect sell-off. Reverse MACD is giving me a signal of, hey, if you're long on something, sell. And also the Stochk is creating clear tops. And again, just Walgreens has been on a consistent downtrend ever since July of 2015. So there's no reason for me to think that Walgreens is not going to stop this downtrend 100%. Like, why would I think that Walgreens is going to go up? Why would I think that Walgreens is going to reverse, right? There's no reason for me to think that. See, since up here, consistent downtrend the whole way. Like, why would I ever think that Walgreens is going to go back up? There's no signs of it reversing. I mean, it might reverse back here, maybe at like I said, $28, just because there's, it. The only way that I can see reversing is from, see, even back at $43, even back at $43, which what I would have guessed would have been a pop. It didn't do anything. Went down to $43 completely, and then completely shot down to $34, created new lows. So I do think that from here, it's going to go all the way down, and I think it might actually hit $28, $30. I mean, to be honest. But again, these would be my two forecasts. This is how I would use the forecast tools and historical movements based off of what happened with Walgreens to kind of determine where I would think price is going. And I would guess that this might happen in, what did I use? I used back here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I would guess that this would happen somewhere around the next 6 months. Easily, I would probably buy puts on Walgreens. Only if we have confirmation. We just started the month of July. July is starting to go bearish, and I would only buy this on July 31st. If Walgreens actually closes bearish on July 31st, then 100% I would buy puts about a year out, just to be safe, right? I can do 6 months out, but I would buy a year out just to be safe, and I would more than likely buy, I would set up maybe like 75% on like $40 puts, and like the other 25% I buy $30 puts just in case it actually decides to dive that low, to be honest. So about a year out, I would buy a year out puts immediately July 31st, as soon as I get confirmation, if this stays, if Walgreens actually closes bearish. And then from there, it's basically just waiting about a year to see what happens. So I'll see you guys later.